to the show. Coming in with the tea. All this fish in your French and your broccoli. Hope you guys got your water in today. The tea is peeping hot today, so the messages are going to be impeccable. But however, I'm supposed to tell you with the this morning, the intro to this message is Roxanne, Roxanne. Roxanne is saying hello from the other side because I feel like somebody was looking to feel like I'm hearing someone, one person has committed career suicide, another person is doing something for opportunity, and the third person is looking to cover up something which I'm hearing is no longer can be held, it can no longer be hidden. I'm hearing someone saying you're no longer going to keep my child or this child a secret anymore because I'm hearing this went on way too long, and choosing and assuming what it is that y'all knew what was going on from the get-go, and this can no longer go on. Okay. Ooh, my nose is itching. So these messages is going to be very prevalent about people's involvement, who said what, who did what, how it went down, why it went down, and choosing to go ahead and do this because it's like, why would you go around to keep doing this? Because it's like someone folks up off your mafia, but why would you go in and get these guys involved in this type of situation, right? So I'm hearing it's like you wanted to keep saying something was clingy. You wanted to keep saying that this was some kind of tie, but they giving me whoever Roxanne is that passed on. I'm hearing 94, 1994, 93 and 94. Okay, this person had came back to I came back to reclaim what was mine, but y'all took my life. Whoever Roxanne is, okay? Roxanne is clearly seeing she gone, okay? But why she's gone, and something is given at the same time, Roxanne has a tie to Philip, whoever who passed away, something at a casino hotel in Nevada, okay? But this is given also at the same time because Philip, I used to call him Papa, and when he was around, I was spoiled. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very, very fucking spoiled. Now when he went away, shit just went hazy, okay? I can say that much. And when it came to certain things, you know what I'm saying? These women in particularly had this vendetta, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like when it comes to people like, I mean, I really don't get bothered because it requires me to give a shit, and I had to stop giving a shit about a lot of things a long time ago. So what people talking about, baby, you got to come to my face talking about it, and then at the same time, it required me to really give a shit about your existence. And most of the time, I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't really be giving a shit about people's existence. I'm not even gonna hold you. And it's not to sound hateful or nothing like that, because you know, to the boring mind and the person that ain't got nothing else better to do with themselves, they'll call it hateful. But shit, do the work on yourself, because it's like a lot of people who end up getting involved in this. I know they feeling so fucking stupid. Like this motherfucker cool. They are who they say they are. I mean, yes, it's too real to seem like it's true, but it's real. But the biggest part of it is, how would you feel like an idiot when you have to get told to your face you end up attracting people of who you are? So of course, when you took certain things as far as you did, you was just only doing what you was connected to with these people, right? So it's just like, don't get mad at somebody pointing out the facts. The facts of the matter is you just got yourself involved in something that wasn't that wasn't none of your business. And then when you got concerned, now you sitting here butt hurt because it's like, fuck. Right? Also, what stuck out to me, because I was like, why is this song? I can't stand the song no more by Casey. It's Me and You. Someone said, Sharita, go look at who wrote the song or produced it. You want to know what was the craziest thing? Ryan Leslie. Years ago, this goes way back. And he's in the age group when it comes to my Aunt Rita. So Ryan Leslie, he's out in Austin, Texas right now. You want to know what was crazy about him writing, producing, and making that song Me and You? Go listen to those words. I know the other guys been talking about the way I do the things that I do. Ryan Leslie wrote that. So meaning he was talking about his feelings in that fucking song. Ryan Leslie. And then I was like, okay, Sharita, well, what ties do he have with other people with your community? You want to know what was crazy? Next Selection Lifestyle Group. You go ahead and tie it, okay? What did Kendrick Lamar come out? They're not like us. You trying to make that man apologize? Okay. Well, actually, if I really wanted to do a lawsuit, you should be paying both Kendrick Lamar and Drake, because Drake was basically he ended up becoming a victim to that whole situation, because if he really knew what was going on with that group, anybody you sit there and ask how old was he when he actually got into these people's groups. Now, if I had to go all the way down to motherfucking Louisiana, I'm opening up a can of worms, but since we don't want to fucking do the right thing, I promise you this is going to force a lot of fucking people's hands, because it's like, how you know this? Roxanne said hello from the fucking other side. Roxanne is not here no more, okay? She's making it very clear she is not here no more. So whatever happened to Roxanne in like 94 or whatever, she's speaking. All right. Right now, a good official that's undercover, you're watching it. Okay, cool. Appreciate you. But you fit to get a fucking earful today, okay? What do you, Roxanne said, y'all gonna hear her the fuck out, because the thing of it is, she's saying she was an immigrant. I don't know if she was from Honduras, El Salvador, or Cuba, but it's given heavy that she had more ties with Cuba than anything. So whoever Roxanne, I'm hearing they set me on fire. They set me up, because the crew she used to run with back in like 79 to 91, they set her up, because the girl she was with, because it's going to make sense, because somebody's going to be like, how did you know all this shit? Because this shit goes all the way back. This is before I even was fucking born. But this is, she's telling, she was like, when she had got involved, you know, this is like when the crack war and all this shit was going on. She's basically saying, and she's showing me how it fucking went. Basically, when she had to leave from Cuba, she's saying more, she got more Cuban ties than anything. But when she had to leave, she came on a visa, or she came on a green card, or she ended up marrying a military man. And when she married this man and she got to the States or whatever, he ended up going to some war. So I'm getting like either he was part of Vietnam, Korea War, or whatever the wars from 1970s to 1986. So whatever war happened in between there, that's where she's ended up connecting with this military guy, getting her green card to come to the States. And when she came to the States, why am I hearing that name multiple times? Because Roxanne, she got killed because what she was going to do. So basically, with the family, and now with my folks, I know that this fucking happened. I was just really young, and I just wasn't 100% sure how it went. But basically, she was showing me at that time, Georgetta was in some shit, okay? Georgetta was in some shit way back in the day. And one thing for sure, two things I'm for sure, she was like, this is family business. Fuck a family, because y'all motherfuckers ain't been no family. Basically, Georgetta was a bottom bitch to Craig Taylor. Craig Taylor's family didn't fuck with Sheila and none of them because of what he ended up getting involved in. So y'all remember all them back then, you used to hear about Ice, what's his name? Ice something, the old school pimps, the pimps that will walk up on your ass, slap your ass, cut you up or whatever if you didn't bring them his money type situation. Like the ties run this fucking deep, right? And with this, when it came to it, somebody had witnessed all of this. And when it came to it, I'm getting like they were the dark skinned ones, but they wasn't like they had shape, they were slim, they whatever, but they wasn't the person they desired. Roxanne, she was a brown skin, but she was Hispanic, right? But they all clicked together and they used to do their runnings together. But Roxanne was only really there because she was just trying to get the feel of how she was gonna do certain things and stuff like that. So Philip, who was the military dude, and he had ties to the Masons at that time, but he also had, other bigger ties. Like he had connections, he was, had investments and stuff like that. Georgetta didn't really know that, right? But then it was just like once she figured out that, of course, you stripping, you out here soliciting. So of course he started messing with Roxanne. This is her story. I don't know if she's going, but she's telling me the fucking message. So don't argue with me. I'm not in the mood to argue with nobody because I'm gonna shut your ass the fuck down. And I'm making that very fucking clear. She's basically saying that she didn't realize to the last minute that she had like this jealousy streak or this envy streak in her. But then it was also when she had the second or the third kid or something like that, she realized what she was doing in the background, because it was like, well, how'd you end up getting to the connection with the commissioner? And Roxanne, like they desired her more. So Roxanne had more ties to go ahead and get to commissioners, people in the music industry. She had ties to get people that was like drug lords, mafias and shit like that. Roxanne had those ties. Georgetta had more of the ties of the state, like messing with commissioners, doctors, lawyers and shit. And then the other two women that was with them that ran in this crew, because it was a crew of 4 of them, right? And they were like adopted the moon and trying to say like, yeah, we sisters, because in that family, when it comes to Georgetta, we go all the way back to history, right? Lavinia Brooke, she was her mom, right? So when it comes to Lavinia, history tends to repeat itself, but she ended up becoming a minister, right? But the thing of it was, when I pointed out, because she started talking from the dead, Lavinia basically told me Miss Chestnut back in Oklahoma, that was her secret lover. They were, lesbians. But, way back in the days, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way up into, now it's acceptable, but back then they had to keep it closeted, because why? They was working in the church. So guess what? In order for those exchanges of them being able to do the shit that they were doing, you keep my secret, I keep your secret. Miss Chestnut was the reason being with, like, before she passed away, I guess she spoke to somebody, and it's like 1 to like 3 other people that knows this, and they know about me, and she wanted to say something, but she ended up passing away prior to. But the thing of it is, when Miss Chestnut passed on, it didn't sound right to me how she passed on, because I think she was getting to that point. You know how when people get Alzheimer's and they get senile, they start speaking up to old shit. So Alzheimer's and dementia, all it is, when they starting to regress, they're speaking on the behaviors of what they intentionally had. So whatever fucking facade they had back in the day is coming out through the Alzheimer's or the dementia. But then most of the time when they remember your face, they will bring up some shit that you thought was supposed to be quiet. So basically she brought up, where that paperwork that you hid from your mama that y'all was supposed to give to that girl that wasn't yours. Because basically she's saying by the time when Sheila had her babies ended up dying, but she would utilize Sheila because she knew she had more control over Sheila to help her unalive some people. So basically the crew of unalivers, and they was working together to do this shit. Sheila was her go-to. Sheila was the one, okay, we can get her to do this. That's why when Craig got locked up, they would still communicate with her to get it done on the street. Carla wanted to get away from it a little bit, but she still had ties to it because she know if she needed a benefit and she needed to get that money, hey, you gonna hold up something. So they knew that they would fight and argue and stab each other and do stupid shit to each other. Carla and Sheila, when I knew that shit, that's when I knew to back out of certain shit. But I knew to watch, because I'm like, if y'all willing to do that to each other, y'all will be willing to do that to the fucking kids. I was smart enough to discover that by the time I was 10 years old, because it was like the argument Sheila and Carla would get into way back in the days, that shit used to be lethal. But then when they knew they had to click up, because when they got caught up in that riot back in like, it was like 93, 96 when they got into that riot and they got arrested for that shit, That's when they got to click together. Okay, we got to come together. We got to be sisters. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I could recognize this shit. But basically, she was just saying like all this shit was tied in together. Sheila had a fever. Sheila didn't see them kids after she had that C-section. She didn't see no kids after she had them C-sections. But Georgetta went on ahead to do something because she already knew Sheila was a head case. She knew this as a kid because she did some shit when she was like 15, 16 or something towards her. And she was like, what the fuck? And that's when like her daddy Craig was like, yeah, that's my motherfucking kid. Cause if she did this shit, I know she, you know what I'm saying? Like they took pride in that shit. I never liked that shit. I thought that shit was so fucking unattractive. Like what the fuck you need to take a person's life just to get recognized from your own fucking father. But then they ran it down to the point they feeling real down to a point that when it came to it, something pointed out, Roxanne, she said, well, I'm going to point it out to you. So anybody that's a political figure or anybody sitting here doing it, she said, first of all, they ain't got no business putting in it because if they bring the full official background checks, she said, you know that when they get into these positions, you know the fact that they're not supposed to have no ties to like extreme groups, Black Panthers and shit like that. So I was just like, what? But as I'm taking a shower, I'm getting it. But the only name that kept coming was Roxanne, and I'm like, Roxanne got a fucking vendetta. I don't know if her spirit can't sleep or something like that, or someone could be doing like graveyard shit and messing with her, her grave or something like that. So basically, she was saying they was stealing money, stolen money, credit cards, debit cards, scammer shit, right? Someone could be expecting congratulations. Keep your kids away. But this is like their form of how they utilize people. So Roxanne, I'm going to give you details about Roxanne. So Roxanne is saying that she may have came to the States between 1967 and 1979. Well, 1969 is prevalent, so maybe that's when she was born. Or when they had ties. Because I'm hearing they killed her in 91. Something about Warren or Warrant. So Latin American Cold War. She had ties to this. This is Roxanne speaking. She's saying they had social Catholic action. So some of these people that are involved too may have had this involvement. So like say if there's Hispanic people coming towards me as well and attacking. Social Catholic action. 1967 to 1979. So these people had ties back then. She's also mentioning like with these ties, these people who are doing this, damn, I don't feel like I should be speaking on it, but it's like, fuck it. Because shit, y'all coming from my life too fucking hard. Because this social Catholic action, someone is utilizing a church to go ahead and doing, because she was like, they've been doing this shit since back in the day. So when they tried to kill her in 91, she had a tie to somebody. So whoever she had this baby with, okay, this child is still living. But she says she's livid because it's like, why are y'all blocking something? So whoever Roxanne is, okay? Roxanne got a vendetta on somebody's ass. She's on y'all head. Crazy as hell, okay? Has some sort of old dry snake on their body. So whoever this person is that has the tie to this social Catholic action, they on their body is a tattoo that, you know how like when the ink starts to dry out or it looks real old on the skin, or, say when they was tattooing, they was like a beginner or something like that. But it's like on somebody's body at random. So they could have it like back here on the shoulder, on the back. So this is giving like a man. Also, somebody could have had like a yellow or a green card. Someone had some kind of passport. They used to travel back in the day. They used to be a heavy cigarette smoker too. Not her, but whoever the person was that she was around at that time. Because she's saying back in like 91, before they killed her, between 91 and 92 or something like that, she came back looking for someone. But when she came back looking for somebody, they attacked her. And then they took the child and had them put in DCF or CPS. And then it was like whoever the person is that try to come in and play as a dad or something like that, or try to like love bomb somebody, that's how they set the trap. So like this was the older person who used their daughter's boyfriend at that time. Because I was like, well, shit, if Sheila really wanted to dig into it and come to Patrick and all of them, shit, Georgetta was fucking on Patrick to get the crack rock. And when she realized like what ties she could utilize Patrick in, it's like love bomb her, get her fucking quiet, get her some money or whatever the fuck it is. And then I'm gonna use you, and me and you gonna work together to go ahead and blindside her. We're gonna take whatever chicks you got and we're gonna use them to go send them up to Nevada to the casino, because I know he liked to go to the casino and I know he liked to drink. And we're gonna go ahead and get him set up, right? The father side of the family, hidden secrets. When the father side of the family of a hidden secret from when somebody was going through a C-section. So if you ever heard that you was like a C-section baby, this was around the time someone, I'm hearing this person was in the Navy. So your real biological father was in the Navy or in the military. Either he was a Navy, I'm hearing he possibly was like a fucking Navy SEAL or like a top-notch fucking Marine or something like that. But this person literally utilized somebody's C-section and the fact they couldn't see a kid for a few days to utilize this, but they also knew whoever the person was having a C-section, that they would be out for a few days. So they knew not to bring back certain information to her. So it's like, well, shit, I'll use this bitch baby and make it believe it's her baby, because shit, you know, she can't take her baby back to where she is. Because I'm hearing Roxanne saying like, yeah, you know, my folks were colorists at that time. And Cass, she must have been fucking Cuban, because it's like, I'm hearing Castro. Because it's given where somebody kidnapped a child and this person has never really publicly talked about their child being kidnapped. So like the underworld ties as well, where this man is probably getting like word on the oh, this person is alive, because I feel like she had family and relatives, but in order to like get here, because low key is given like she was like a double agent way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like where they were trying to do it, but in order to do it, it had to be ran in a particular way. They knew it was gonna have to be low down. So like, you know what I'm saying? This is some crazy ass shit, but I'm like, bruh, her cousins. So like, say if there was other babies born around this time, it was like, okay, well, we're gonna intentionally switch out these two kids, and we're gonna make it seem like whoever the person or the relative is, where like I said, with your birth certificates, your social security cards, they can utilize your ass however the fuck they please. They can shut your mind down and you be thinking like, oh, I can think better than this. No, you can't. You're not going to be able to think anything until your ass get out of the pure fucking matrix and understand and overstand what the fuck is happening. Because if you go to day to day, oh, I got to go work for somebody, they have you under control, right? Right. But for you, actually, you was a vaginal delivery, but at the time, it was like 10 babies at that time. And you know how they do the pack, like drawing your blood and stuff like that? And they draw your blood. When they draw your blood, they know what ties you have already. You know what I'm saying? Especially like by the 80s, they was basically starting to do that. For somebody in 1993, they did this shit again. For somebody, you was a young ass kid. I'm getting, you were a fucking baby genius. That's why your daddy, he was like so fucking enamored by you. Like, this motherfucker's smart. They can do this. They can do this. Whatever, right? But then at the same time, this is like somebody just, they hated it. Somebody just hated the fact like you got attention, you got loved on. And then when they realized like this motherfucker, like with their child, so like say the grandmama, the person you thought was your grandmama, she really wasn't your grandmama, but she adored you too, because it was just like the fact like, damn, this child smart, this child could do this or whatever. But the mama, the person that you may thought was your mom, is not your real fucking mom at all. So like say if they did a DNA test or whatever the case may be, y'all have no relation. The person you thought was your father is not your father. You know what I'm saying? He was a broke down pimp, got injured in fucking college and didn't know no fucking better. This is like somebody, you getting a country bumpkin motherfucker that really thinking they own something, but most people only laugh and entertain the motherfucker because you was only there good for their entertainment. But then like, her story was, oh, when I was getting ready to have birth with you, he came in the hospital room with two other girls. That sounds like a bullshit fucking story. And if that was the fucking story, why the hell would you ever want a man around your child that would clearly tell you that I'm okay with pimping people, bringing them to your house, selling drugs to your parents? Why would you want to keep your child in any type of ties like that? Like, you're literally asking to put your child in danger. Like, it didn't make sense. That's why I was like, bitch, you a whole mental case. Didn't the nigga you was with Baker act you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you dare try to fit yourself to do something to somebody and detriment their mental health? And then when she pulls certain shit, like she had this bad habit when she get really, really, really fucking drunk, her personality will switch and she'll start talking like a baby. Like, Sheila used to do that shit and I used to be like, what the fuck? But at that time, like when she did that as a kid, I literally had to like defend myself. So most of the time, only thing that most people used to see as a kid, I was dressed nice, I had the shoes I want, I had money in my purse. But most of that, they didn't understand most of that money that was coming to me because Georgetta would have to cuss her ass out, make sure that goes to that child. But not knowing that on the back end, while they was working at Johnny Cook's, shit, she was escorting, back paging and shit when they was sleeping with football players. They was sleeping with people in the music industry and all that. Like, so that's how I know how the fucking game goes. That's how I know how it goes when it comes to a Fed, the CIs, the CIA. There's no fucking industry that you won't sit here and try to convince me otherwise. You can gaslight a motherfucker that's stupid, but you would never fucking gaslight me when it comes to me. Good luck, Chuck, because it ain't gonna work over here because I ain't your duck. That kept me in hands down while I was spending my money. Yeah, so Roxanne passed on. Roxanne is saying, I'm fucking here. She said they fit to fucking pull back because she said, I'm not here to do this. You can't keep attacking somebody that I'm here. You sitting here feeling like you summoning up somebody. She said, yeah, you summoned up somebody, but it's somebody that y'all ain't gonna be able to get off of you. Because I'm getting somebody had a dream last night, and whatever the fuck this dream was, they seen somebody's face. They kept hearing a name, and whatever it was that was in this dream, I'm hearing something like a fire. And whatever this fire was in this person's dream, it was like a fucking warning. I'm hearing she said she coming for people. Wants to run for a Senate, funds for a campaign, somebody that's involved. So this person, Roxanne, is saying, I seen everything. So if you feel like you hiding some shit like that, you ain't hiding out a motherfucking thing because you sitting here trying to act like you campaigning something and you running and funneling some money and you want to run for the fucking Senate and you thought some shit was funny. This is a female, a white female at that, a white and a black female, okay? There's two of them. And then they take certain money and they act like they put it in to help people like immigrants and stuff like that. But she said, no, y'all only funding the fucking immigrants because you trying to pay them to do your dirty work. Using county funds. Someone could have a daughter or somebody that's a makeup artist, a mother, listening, ear hustling. But it's like, I'm going to teach them about, listen, y'all can't fucking play with the dead. Like, no bullshit, no funny business. Because even then, so if I don't give a fuck if you went to Santeria, ain't no reason for you to do, if you got to do a fucking spell on someone to dominate a conversation or something to go your way, you weak as fuck. That you're allowing a person to know, to take control of the situation once they realize, like, oh, you a motherfucker utilizing the Bible? Are you trying to use clothes under your tongue and shit like that to dominate something? You're a weak individual. Oh, you went to go pay that one astrologer that everybody knows that lives in California to do this shit for you? Like, come on, somebody saying, listen, Cuban Revolution. Someone has Cuban Revolution ties. So I'm hearing somebody, may have had relatives that may have came to the States in like 1955. Someone came again in 1969. Another relative may have came in 76 or 79. Another person had came in 83. Confirmation. So whoever this Cuban person that was escaping from that in 83, someone may have came to the States when they were like 11 years old that's involved in this revolution and rebellions. It's a show I used to watch a long time ago when I was a teenager. Amigas and rebeldes. So enemies and rebels, right? So it's a novela. It's like a novela series, but it was like it's equivalent to General Hospital, you know, like, or Passions. You remember those shows that used to run like that? But this was like a Spanish show that ran a long time ago. So she was like, people were part of the revolution and rebellions, and she had lost a lot of her family during that time. So her coming to the States, you know, of course she had, you know, her only mistake was, you know, getting in ties with him and didn't realize that he was part of, you know, certain revolutions that she wasn't aware of. And then when all these other people came involved, like she didn't know that she was getting tricked. She didn't know that, you know, they was pulling these things because he felt she was more of a benefit because with him, he was able to do his stocks. He was able to do his trades, but he ended up getting involved with somebody like drug lords and shit. Like he was a gambler. Someone is hiding money in a 401k. They did not run the background check on someone. A female who's part of a sex ring. Check cashing scam. This person also was part of setting up somebody with armed robbery. So this is a group of females that had ties way back then. This is also like, she's saying like her other friends. So like say with these other friends, right? They would get mad whenever she had go talk to her other friends who were like groupies. So they had ties to like, you know, other celebrities. Like she was the only one where she can be with black people, but she could also be with Spanish people. This is given where like, you know how kids, let me put it this way, kids that are biracial, right? I knew that my daughter went through it for a little bit, but I don't know what's going on now. You're not black enough to be black and you're not Spanish enough to be Spanish, right? Because, you know, her skin complexion or something like that. But it's given like she had like, she was light skinned but really pretty good hair, right? And with that, she didn't be around motherfuckers that did armed robberies, you know, check cashing scams and sex rings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not intentional, but you know, when you innocent and you into other shit, it gets you tied up in shit that you don't want to be in. And you don't really realize it until, you know, later on. So she was like 11 years in running. But then when she ended up finding out people where she could get out of it, and it was like, okay, in order to keep this child safe, meaning they were promising her, well, we'll keep the baby safe because she had her baby around the same time this older lady's daughter had her baby. Unbeknownst to her, her kids, I want to say her kids didn't make it. Her baby didn't make it. But hers did. And she was like, well, shit, since I have my kid or whatever, because she was like, I think she was down for like 2 or 3 days, like with a fever or something like that. Because, you know, after you have your baby and you have a fever, you know, they don't want you to be around the kid because it's, you know, they got to figure out what's their infection in the body, whatever. But this is like, she ended up getting sick, but while she was sick, I feel like she had got a visit from some other people. I'm hearing the feds had came to speak to her, and she was like, shit, I need to hide my kid, because she knew that some shit would have got her tied up in something. And she was like, well, look, do me a favor, keep up with the baby, and when I come back or whatever the case, because I feel like she got arrested after she had the baby or something. And it was just like, okay, shit, y'all keep up with the baby. She was like, yeah, we can do that. So they kept trying to figure out, well, who's the father? Who's the father? Because it was something for her, for Roxanne, it was something with her motherfucking DNA. And she was something like, say for like 11 years, they paid her because of who she was and where she came from. She was paid. She was taken care of. She was kept. So, man, it wasn't nobody that couldn't come to her to get no work or she, you know, I'm hearing that bippity boppity boop, give you a potion. She knew how to do herbs. She knew how to do a lot of shit. Roxanne was on her shit. But then this armed robbery and somebody ended up going missing. And I feel like whoever these it's women, okay? The women. The problem was the women. It wasn't the men. He was too busy because Philip was cool because it was like, okay, the child is here to stay. But he got mad once the person got on that crack. Somebody was on crack really bad. Part of a militia of the 1970s, okay? And then this armed robbery. So she knew about it and she was like, shit, that ain't had shit to do with me, but they kept trying to tie it to her. So in order for her to get out of, she had to give up something. And whatever it was that she gave up, the people she was with start messing with her, with the other people that she had to stop hanging with. And they was like, oh, so you stop hanging with us, you too good for us. But she was under like immunity or some shit like that. And it was going to keep her from being deported back to Cuba, because at that time, you know, once you left Cuba at certain times, you couldn't go back. Because there was a certain time where, you know, Castro put in where you once your ass left, you wasn't coming back into that motherfucking country. Okay? And she saying she was around that time where the rebellion and militias and shit like that. But she's also saying right now, currently, someone you're dealing, like, you may be having issues with certain people of certain races, and that's because of this. But she's saying, here's your proof to go ahead and get these motherfuckers to back down and slow the fuck they roll, because some of these people are in like political positions that they are not supposed to be in. And I'm hearing if they did full thorough background checks, they would see that these people were part of militias. Someone on their record, if they actually start digging within them, they will see that they were part of armed robberies. This is given risk assessment. So meaning on federal levels, in government levels, even in the military, if you're considered a risk factor, meaning if they can see that you struggling for money or something like that, they have to put you out of position. No questions asked. Because you're now at a threat that if someone offer you up more of a salary or more payment of something, you would jeopardize the whole operation, that can jeopardize the United States, that can jeopardize confidential shit. Someone knows for a fact, and Roxanne is saying, if they go ahead and do something on somebody who was part of that could be Hispanic or something like that, or some particular females in particular, they want to be Eastern stars and look godly and shit. She's saying that if they dig a little bit deeper, they'll see that. I'm hearing, damn. Say that again. They will see that these people had ties to some sort of militia. And that right there would be grounds for them to be fired, any assets and shit like that. Like, because I feel like that fine is thick as fuck and that they can't afford it. Also, someone was part of a militia in the 1970s that's from Morocco. So someone could have Arabic ties, because I'm hearing, well, somebody, they could be black or something, or try to claim that they're like Hebrew, Israelite, or Muslim, or Moorish, and they working with some people that are Moroccan, but they here on like some kind of green card or some shit like that, or they trying to get nationalized. She said, hell no, ain't none of y'all motherfuckers getting nationalized, because she said, if they do a thorough check, they'll see that these motherfuckers had some part of a militia of the 1970s, and whatever militia that was in the 1970s, there is another thing that they created that's happening current. So I'm hearing someone saying, do a thorough background check on somebody's connections. Like, somebody called somebody on their phone, and whoever that person they called on their phone, if you track who this person is and get their picture and stuff like that, I'm hearing somebody could work for the FBI. But doing your due diligence, you will find that this person, oh shit, also has casino ties. Because I'm also getting like some recent people that they even arrested have ties in this, okay? Casino ties, but part of a militia of the 1970s, Morocco, and a female sex ring, okay? That do check cashing scams. Because I'm hearing the older ladies, they've been doing this shit since like 76. One of them had did it in 74. Also, one of them had a body on them too in 83. I'm hearing 82 or 83. They have a body. So they may have tried to get their record concealed, or it was like so long. Lawton Fort Seal. Military base. Working in a group of associates. Somebody want an NDA silent about a contract business or conceal identities. Because that Ryan Leslie guy stands out too fucking bad. Time to detox your body, check in with yourself, close your eyes, and ask yourself, how do you feel about this? Because this is like a good official, like, what the fuck? I didn't think about that. I mean, sometimes you gotta step back and think about it. Also, you're gonna find out someone is part of a KKK group currently. Also, that leads to another fucking thing about this shit, right? So with these people having ties like this, and it happens all the time. That's why I'm never fucking surprised when people do stupid shit. I'm never fucking surprised, because it's like, try me if you fucking want to. I just need one fucking person that's really on their shit and really doing your job. I'll shut your ass down in a fucking New York minute. Don't play with me. Because if I have to, you not know, most of the time, by Fort Campbell kind of went a little hard about it. They went hard about it. Once they found out, did you not know in order for them to get initiated into a KKK that they needed to do 18 months in the military? It didn't matter what branch. And that's the ground for you to go ahead and join the KKK. For some female sex rings and sex groups, they will put these women into the military, and they'll make it all the way up to AIT to get to their first duty station and leave. Why? Because for one, I learned how the military operates. For two, I learned strategy. For three, I learned a better way to unalive. So most of the time they were already unalivers. They just wasn't picking up on their records, because most of their records way back in the day, it didn't really stick until you was 21. So like up until like 88, a lot of people would get away with shit. So most of the time, the old heads, like the women that was like 60s and 70s doing this shit, they would utilize their kids and put them on. Like Georgetta utilized Sheila because Sheila was just with the shits. Carla was with the shits and she knew how to do the shit, but she got a little bit more smarter with the shit, because it was like, well, shit, well, mama, if you doing this, and you know what I'm saying? You know how you can just catch on to shit and be like, well, shit, is always a better way to do the shit that I'm doing and to get away with it. But it's been going that way for years. That's why I said, like, when people get involved in this shit, they know which kids and which people of their groups, like, oh, your kid is smart. Oh, we're going to help them get into Harvard real quick. We could utilize their asses to do our CPAs. We could utilize their ass. Oh, so they good with numbers? Oh, we're going to, they will pay for their college. That's why it's, some of these motherfuckers in high official positions, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure if they went back through records and go look into their families, not just them, but look into their fucking families and see their ties, a lot of fucking people wouldn't be sitting on boards. They wouldn't be in fucking position. They wouldn't be able to run half the shit that they fucking doing, because if we can pinpoint that you are actually a part of fucking hard groups like KKK and militias and shit like that, left wings and shit, a lot of these motherfuckers would lose authority, position, and power, because that's their only power to utilize what it is that they're doing. It's a motherfucker, this bitch part of the KKK, but you work for the feds? I don't know. Or are you doing some kind of investigation into them? I don't know. But you're using city funds to utilize to get rid of somebody and to tell a lie? Karma. For somebody's karma, you're going to have herpes, HIV. Detox your body and find help. You are definitely remembered. They should not forget you. But they want to make a general issue out of people, but not realizing shit, KKK do it. You know, Hispanic revolution motherfuckers do that shit. Shit, Black Panthers. Because I was like, shit, if you took on Carla, shit, go ahead and do a family history with her ass. She ain't got no business running no motherfucking hospital at all. Because Uncle Jesse, when it comes to Georgetta, this is where I know when it came to Lavinia, and I was like, well, shit, look at all the kids she had. Uncle Sam was a drunk. The twin of Uncle Sam passed away. Eva hated every fucking body because she was the youngest one and had her first baby at fucking 13. And her hate runs so fucking deep because guess what? She was the kid that utilized whenever they need to get out of the drugs to do this shit. Mind you, her and 3 of her sisters all had the same fucking baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? So of course, then you go on, because like I said, Sam is a drunk. Eva, she's okay with living on Social Security or whatever disability she get. Then you had Savinia, who passed away. She was very fucking beautiful, but stripping was the way. But then guess what? She only went to that. The only person who got out was Marion, but Marion knew about the check cashing scams and ended up getting ties with a mafia dude, but ended up getting killed in a suicide homicide, right? Then you go on to Georgetta. She's the only one basically still alive out of them. Jesse got killed because he was an extremist Black Panther and he killed kids. So if he felt like any kid wasn't listened to, he went to prison because he killed a kid. Freddie ended up falling into the background because he was the one that they could use him to cross dress because he got turned out as a kid. You see what I'm saying? So like history amongst them, it's like y'all cool with that shit. Georgetta was the one I could kill him, I could be the bottom bitch, and I could still get my money. But she was the biggest one where she came up with the fucking scam because I was like, if history is going to go back to Georgetta, shit, how many insurance policies have you collected on everybody when it came to the funerals? Niecy's funeral, Savinia's funeral, your last 3 fucking husbands' funeral. How you collecting insurance policies? You mean to tell me ain't no red flag come up on this woman's name? Then now here comes Sheila. I was like, oh shit, that's the name of the game. See, just because somebody's your fucking kid does not give you the right or authority to be able to do that. And plus, you need that person's permission. So the only way that for you to get away with this shit, I was like, okay, you're trying to look to traffic the person, right? If you traffic the person, that's how you can keep them quiet. So with Sheila and them, they would utilize like people that they knew that, you know, had positions, but they also knew that the motherfuckers were abusive. Cousins, friends, they didn't give a fuck who it was, long as they knew they could have control over what these people could do or how far they would go. And God forbid that someone would break out of it, or the person, whoever it was, even though they may be abusive, like you, it's sad to say, it'll be a motherfucker that will beat a motherfucker's ass, but it's like, I love you, but it's like, you need to fix that. But some of them women don't have that strong mind to be like, I need to leave this person. I don't deserve to be beat on, but shit, you feel like, well, I like what this girl did on TikTok, and I thought it was so unacceptable. It's not cute. Well, he could beat upside my head for, you know, if he paying me $100K every month, shit, I'll get beat on. And some of these fucking bitches be thinking that shit is cute, and they really will stay with a motherfucker just because the money. But at the same time, they know that they got hidden secrets on them. So of course, I'm gonna run them some money if they ask me shit. Sheila, you was the one that cooked me up with her anyway. What you need? Oh, you need me to go call this old friend up to do this for you? This is how they did that shit. So when it came to Sheila and Patrick, you know, he lost his parents. But if we go back to the truth, I remember when I exposed to Rita back in 2020, she was heated. Patrick killed your daddy. And then he turned around and did it to your mama. He killed both of them. And you still thinking to this day, like, oh, you know, they went up the street and they went up to go do this. No, baby. Patrick did that. Patrick did that, baby. And then it's like, we're going to sit here and play like, oh, that wasn't the case. No, Patrick set that up, baby. He set that up. And he been doing it and helping her. And then when it comes down to Denise, you did that same shit. Patrick ended up marrying a girl that she ended up being an RN. She got her gastric bypass or whatever the case may be, gained her confidence in the midst of it. And it's like, you cheating, you still talking to your baby mamas type shit. And once she figured that shit out, that's when, you know, it was a back and forth thing between them. So whenever it came to Kim's family, I know they still trying to figure out she ain't die how she died. But I said, if y'all speak on it, I'm 1,000,000% sure that with all this shit that's going on, that won't nobody get away with it, but nobody want to speak up about it, right? So I was like, all right, Johnny and all them, y'all going hard at me, but why you ain't going hard at this nigga though? You know what I'm saying? But for somebody, that's literally how it's going. Mississippi. So someone also had ties with this Aldo Merchesi, Oxford University. Okay, some research that was done there at Oxford University. Also, the Hispanic, the Hispanic League may have utilized this lecture or something like that. Someone could be from Mississippi, North Carolina, or had ties to the German base. An Aquarius. Excuse me. So it was just like a strategy to like, well, we got to keep away from this. Someone may be trying to appraise a home so someone can't get their home back. These are people that need to learn their damn selves. They don't know nothing about love, but they know about insurance though. That's why people be like, yeah, I'm gonna take the hell no. I don't. That's why I won't ever do marriage again. Cloak energy, fake profile. Somebody gay that be on Tammy and Grindr. Person will stalk you from Texas. So this is like where somebody end up meeting a person off of one of these websites and they've been utilizing them like, yeah. They got on this fake profile, found it, snooped these people out and like, okay, let me see how far you willing to do this shit. Also, this NASA worker who be doing like, they can watch you from your room. They can watch from anything technically. If they know the codes to like your phone, if they know the codes to like if you know, certain complexes. And this person, this NASA type person or worker who has a tie to North Carolina and Texas, they're doing this as a favor because this is like, I'm hearing like butt buddies. But this person from NASA as well, LGBT, Tammy, Grindr, or whatever, has these political ties as well, 2 weeks or within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Someone, look, federal government compensation, man, fuck this. I'm hearing them say, fuck this. This is too much information, too much detail and intel. Listen, Roxanne is tired of this shit, okay? Friday, so a federal government person or something on Friday, but I'm here, I don't even want to be hostile. But I'm also someone, your real parent or parents passing on or already passed on, and they knew this. So someone utilized that and took advantage of that. Someone, you have ties to Latin America. Latin extremists, 1950, 1981. Black Panther. So it's like somebody was a Black Panther and another person was part of the revolution, like the Cuban Revolution or Spanish Revolution. And it was just like, shit, it went from there. But I'm telling you, somebody do your due diligence and do a real deep, thorough fucking background check on these so-called people that's trying to say, oh, we're relatives to them. No, the fuck they're not. This is like giving little orphan Annie. They were, hey, we took advantage. Your mama really, you know, this is given like when you were born low key within that first year and your mama did try to come back for you or look for you, some shit like that. They killed her ass because it was like, oh, you come with money too? And once they figured that out too, they just been taking fucking, I'm hearing 92, using you to take from you. Also, they knew that somebody you were gifted since a child. Someone's about to get caught in a lie. You doing too much. You worry about the wrong thing, the wrong thing. Because I'm hearing they got the capabilities and everything. And so everything I know that they're saying, and if we look into, someone knows for a fact, if they look into all this shit that I just said, Black Panther, the revolution and all this shit, they got a bigger problem to fucking worry about. Way bigger than me. A Libra, Aquarius, or a fucking Gemini. They're telling a bold-faced fucking lie. And your ass is caught. She was or is a baby genius and gifted. And I'm hearing you know this fucking person. Chestnut folks found stuff and they turned it to the FBI. She held the secret of a child. So Miss Chestnut from Lawton, Oklahoma, knew somebody was a gifted child or a fucking baby genius. They were secret lovers. They were ministers of churches. Lavinia and Miss Chestnut, they worked in churches. So they knew how to utilize pastors and shit like that. Because I'm hearing hello from the other side. Someone just got chills. The Arabs will only help you because you donated to a cause. Shall we say how and what and when? Somebody knows that keep fucking playing. They will get wind to figure out if you supported any type of extremists and you work for NASA, you work for Congress, Senate, police, or a particular university, your ass is grass. You had plenty of NDAs back in the day, so hush. Sincere, Roxanne. Roxanne is not playing with somebody. Old school groupie, get down girls. So the get down girls, no rest for the wicked. Do the right thing. So she said you should have did the right thing in the fucking first place. And y'all thought it was a game. She said, I'm amped up the ante. Sheriff Department. Said, you want to call somebody a crack hole? I'm going to call out your crack hole shit. An official had community service years ago who's an opportunist and created a network off of this with a sheriff department. Because it's given like, you know, most motherfuckers, when these sheriffs and people go on to these back pages, they make these people sign NDAs. But at the same time, you know, the police will go back and research who the person is, and then they try to blackmail them and play the game with people. I mean, that's just the name of the game, shit. I mean, I'm not to play with nobody. Someone, you could be black and Cuban. Somebody, your siblings, or one of your siblings, a hair salon spa owner. They may have recently just opened a price on your life. You took them down with facts and evidence. Someone can have yellow, red hair, blue eyes. Your back neighbor is in a custody battle, have an issue with the new lover from Michigan. So someone, your neighbor who lives in the back of you is in the midst of a custody battle. But they have an issue because, like, I feel like the new lover is like keeping somebody on point with somebody because somebody be trying to try it. But then it's like, why the fuck you keep getting yourself involved in shit that you ain't got no business being in? And then it's like you want to play delirious and delusional and shit and try to convince, like, you listen to other people being delusional, but shouldn't nobody know the facts about fucking life. Somebody, you looking delicious out here putting these motherfuckers on blast. Like, quit playing with people. Someone's ties to Michigan. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's like you wanting to mess with somebody's confidence. Let's go ahead and mess with, I'm hearing, oh, you want to mess with somebody's confidence? Let me fuck with your livelihood then. Roxanne is not playing with nobody. She also may have had ties with that group, Lisa or something like that, or the lady Lisa. Oh, shit. She also saying someone was part of a setup crew back in the day, a sex ring and a trafficking ring. Someone may have recently used the county or some city fundings for this setup crew and this sex ring to try to traffic somebody, like try to kidnap you and traffic you. So someone may have just recently paid somebody to do this towards you. Ryan Leslie, somebody could be a suburb kid and they also invested in this, because I'm hearing they ain't gonna figure out that we have ties to the music industry. Yes, the fuck we will. Ryan Leslie, who's a Libra. Someone could be black and Indian. Help with green card. Somebody that recently paid, a black and Indian person that may have recently paid somebody to help them with their green card that's from Honduras or Salvador. Ooh, my nose is itching. Somebody's name could be Philip, unalived at a casino hotel. A similar occurrence. So they saying, Roxanne is saying basically there may have been recently, I'm hearing up to 2 or 3 cases where someone getting killed at a particular casino. And I keep hearing it's happening at a particular casino. That's the main biggest detail about this shit. Happening at a particular casino. If not, it's a particular casino within, like, they either next to each other or something like that, but it keeps happening the same fucking way. Whoever was the recent situation where someone got killed at a casino, hotel, whatever, this is how this person was done, and it was done with some setup girls. Also, this person Philip, who was unalived at this casino hotel, had a home. I'm hearing either Nevada, California, Ohio, Wisconsin. Like, this person had like investments. So once they left somebody and try to divorce this person, because I'm hearing, well, she was the one that wouldn't divorce me. this person, Philip, whoever got unalive, it was like, it was the other way around. This was like, oh, he wouldn't give me the divorce. He was the one trying to leave me. Well, the fact that he left, and it was like, I feel like the argument was back and forth about the fact that this person is saying that he didn't want to come back. He was like, I don't want to hear all that. When you got, I'm hearing somebody used to be on crack really fucking bad. That's why they left. Someone could be Costa Rican who wanted to be a public enemy, but they can't be an enemy to you. But this Philip is, he's saying, I'm speaking too. Fuck you mean? Like, you ain't fit to try me. The focus is on you now. Somebody, the focus is on you. How the fuck you know what it is? But I'm here, okay, so Philip is saying because when this happened, this person, Philip, may have actually went and was like under some type of protection, but something had to cause him to reach out to this person who set him up to be unalive. Because they trying to say Roxanne was the side chick or he was the side dude or some shit like that. And he was like, it was nothing like that. Because I'm hearing that was always my secret lover. That was always my love. I just had to figure out how to get them out. Because I feel like Roxanne low key too, she went up, had to go uncover. Because if it's given Cuban Revolution, it was like she was undercover for something. But they also knew she had a gift or a talent to do something. Roxanne was very fucking powerful in something that she fucking did. I don't know if she did it for a different country or countries, or she did it for somebody. But they knew, but she also knew, she said, I also knew that they would come for me because her blood was very useful for something. And once she stopped doing that, it was like an attack. And then once they realized she had some kids or a kid or some shit like that, shit just went haywire. A left wing capitalist, or she could, this side chick, side dude that Philip had, they realized like she was left wing or a capitalist. Damn, this shit runs pay grade, but Roxanne, but she wasn't no side chick or side dude, but this is like somebody trying to say like Mark Dukes or some shit like that. They got mad. November 9th, 1979, the Heritage Foundation of this left-wing capitalist of okay, so someone needs to go look back at November 9th, 1979. So with the Heritage Foundation, it's basically a list of everybody's fucking name that they have basically funded doing this foundation to bring people into the country safely that was really looking to get out of Latin America's, because it was like a big thing where a lot of people were passing away because of political views and stuff like that. And, civilians were getting hurt in this shit. Also, if they were like people that were going to college, because I'm hearing Roxanne saying, shit, I went to college. Fuck you mean? She said, but people got so jealous of her and who she was. It just brought so much fucking trouble because she was so gifted. She knew how to get to it, but people like did shit to her. It was like so fucking hateful. But November 9th, 1979, someone, if you in the federal or something like that, the Heritage Foundation, and someone that's currently political fucking with me out here in fucking Florida, I feel bad for you. Because if you still got ties to this shit, and you got any ties that you was born in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they see you got ties to this, that's the end of your motherfucking career. Someone, the person who you dealing with, adopted mom and an adopted dad. Military base. They're about to eat their words. Just stay consistent and disciplined in whatever the fuck it is that you're doing. And apparently it must be this because it's like someone trying to get me to back off of this. And every time that I want to back off, it's like even though I don't be wanting to do this shit, it's just like, nah, you can't back off of this because these motherfuckers is playing. Because I know it's something tied to this, but it's like, I'm hearing it's going to be a major fucking sacrifice. Because they going to pull it, but it's like, I keep getting that the federal is doing something very big, but it's going to be a fucking sacrifice in the end. But it's like, I mean, is it worth it? Hell no. It should nobody, get jeopardized, but someone knows for a fact that it's going to lead to that shit. It's just like, it's a sad, harsh fucking reality, but the reality is reality. Because in order to make some shit stick to some motherfuckers so that shit don't happen again, it might be some people passing. It might be some kids getting unalived. It might be, people getting unalived that should never got unalived. But shit, in order for certain shit to end, that's just the way the cookie gonna crumble. You are and were being targeted. Shit, I'm not fucking surprised. I would want to target a motherfucker that's, hell, I intentionally used to have to fucking hide my intelligence because it was like, it wasn't like intentional, but it's like I had to, considering how people fucking move, how they talk, how they behave. I had to fucking conceal certain shit that I know, but now it's been the green light. Go, baby. Eat their ass the fuck up. They want to act like your ass don't know about the numbers. They want to act like your ass don't know about none of this shit. I command and decree. Get it popping. They want to play with Orishas and shit. You rank every single last one of these motherfuckers. You gonna play right. You can't sit here and play with motherfuckers and don't do this shit. Well, we've been doing this for 30 fucking years, but you're still doing it in a slave fucking mentality. They have control over your dumb ass, and the fact that you was willing to take the money to do the work, you look stupid as shit. And secondly, how would you deny your African side? How dare you tell your children, even if your children get attracted or want to do work with black people or people of color, and you sit there and tell them, I'll disown yo. Like somebody literally told their kid, I'll disown you if you date that black bitch. Somebody had to say that, and they're embarrassed to tell the person that because it's like, I fuck with you heavy, but what your family said, okay, is either going to be one or two things. If you're going to want to come back into somebody's life, shit, denounce them motherfuckers. They ain't doing shit for you but betraying you too. Cause shit, if they realize that you doing some shit, they gonna get your ass too. Like I need people realize that they willing to do that to somebody else and force your hand to do it to somebody that you clearly fucking love. They gonna cover your ass that moment that you decide like, hey, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not here to people please. I'm not here to do what it is that you need me to do. I got work to do. Paid cash, $100 to $1,500 to do some shit. That's chump change. So all it takes for you to get paid cash or them little Visa gift cards to do this shit, or somebody cash app you, and you got to change your fucking name on Cash App, shit, it don't take away with the trap. Shit, a statement gonna show up regardless. PayPal statement's gonna show up unless you got ties to NASA or the feds. And some of you do. A lot of motherfuckers is undercover. But I'm not for to blow their fucking cover because it's needed. All this fucking evidence of how much money you gonna give me from these fundings and shit like that. They gonna make this shit stick. But you don't know who the fuck is who. Bitcoin, USA, Italy ties. 1860, Rome, Italy. Someone could be did something to March 31st, Hartford, Connecticut, via JP Morgan Bank. But you utilize and put something as 1860. Also, you had John, or somebody's name could be John Pierpoint or John Morgan, West Virginia. And it's like, when it comes to banks and shit like this, like I know the name of the game. So like shit, if I want to conceal something, I'm going to say, hey, April 17th, 1837. That's our code word. When I'm working with a Shriner or some shit. You 33rd degrees and shit like that. This is the lingo. This is the talk. So don't ever insult somebody's intelligence when I can break down your whole fucking operation like that. Stop playing. Healthy way to regulate their emotions. Shit, I was regulating my motherfucking emotions until y'all started fucking with shit. And you giving me psilocybin, all you did was amp that shit up. Bitcoin, Spanish lawyer, closet racist, incolorist. Son doesn't like her. So it's a female lawyer, right? Who's a closet racist and a colorist. And then people see him when it's like when she got to put on a, come on, son, we having this event or something like that. It's like, I'm getting like a motherfucker. rolls his eyes. Anytime like she calls or something like that, this man rolls his eyes. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back.